Kentucky takes it on the road to Lexington South, and the Cardiac Cats, they find a way to win again. Wow.
You are Locked On Kentucky, your daily podcast on the Kentucky Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, what's going on, Big Blue Nation? Welcome on into Locked On Kentucky, your daily Kentucky Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Lance Dawe, and thank you so much for tuning in today because we are recapping Kentucky basketball's 80-78 win over the Tennessee Volunteers on the road in Lexington South. A huge comeback win for the Cats. Now 3 in a row, double-digit comebacks against Mississippi State, LSU at the buzzer, and now Tennessee here again on the road. Just an enthralling, incredible comeback victory. I'm still shocked. I'm still in disbelief that Kentucky found a way to pull this off. Down for the entire game, trying to fight back, and at the very end, they managed to tie the game, take the lead, turn Tennessee over, keep them from making a shot at in the final moments, and the Cats walk out of Tennessee with a huge, possibly season-defining quad one victory again against the Tennessee Volunteers. Lance Dawe hanging out here with you. Thank you so much for making Locked On Kentucky your first listen every single day. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching live on YouTube, we're going to be getting to y'all's thoughts here in just a little bit. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The college football playoff is here, and FanDuel is the best place to get into the action all playoff long. So visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff profit boosts every single game day. 80-78 is the final score. Cats win on the road against the Vols, now 12-6, 3-2 in SEC play. A huge quad one victory on the road now, back-to-back Q1 dubs for Mark Pope's Cats, and just another stressful, really intense back and forth in the second half, trying to claw your way back into it after being down 17 points in the first half. You can kind of tell a little bit. I lost my voice. I didn't say anything throughout the course of this entire game, but I was celebrating on the phone with people after the game, really just again in shock that Kentucky found a way to pull this one off. I said going into this one that I thought that this was a game that Kentucky possibly matched up well with the Volunteers because of, honestly, a lot of the things that we saw a season ago. Tennessee likes to let their opponents take three-point shots. They let their opponents get a large volume. They let their opponents get volume from three. Maybe not necessarily efficiency, but they like to pack the paint, protect the rim, really aggressive, foul you, put you on the line if they have to. And last season, I thought that was a perfect matchup for Kentucky because of the way that they played. Tempo, three-point shooting, spacing you out. It caused problems in both of those games. I said at the end of yesterday's episode, basically the only thing that could really keep Kentucky in this one is if they were able to consistently hit shots from outside the arc. Now, obviously there are a lot of other things that happen in this game to contribute to Kentucky's victory here, but you remember last season, 12 of 24 in both of the regular season wins were the Wildcats from three. In this one, 11 of 24, most notably Collin Chandler and Denzel Aberdeen going out there and spraying from deep. Something that I noticed in the second half is even on misses, what did you notice body language-wise about this team, about the shooters on this team? They're more confident in the shots that they're taking. Throughout the entirety of the non-con slate, Kentucky did not consistently look confident in their shot. And something that Mark Pope has continued to say is we pride ourselves on being confident in our shot. When we take a shot, we expect it to go in. We are confident in the decisions that we make game in and game out. Aberdeen looked confident. Chandler looked confident. Dawe, even despite some misses, looked confident. I thought Dawe got roughed up in this game, second game in a row, that they just weren't calling anything. We'll get to the officiating later. But man, I loved the confidence that this team exuded on the floor today. I loved their intensity, their pace, their energy in the second half where it was clear they wanted this victory. And even after being down by 11 at the first half, I didn't think this game was over. I didn't think Kentucky was out of it by any means because I really, with even what I saw in the first half, I saw some really bad officiating. I saw some inconsistent play on defense, and I thought Kentucky can find a way to adjust and find a way to win this game in the second half because I think this is a game that they could match up well. They started this game shooting well. The only thing that held them back in the first half pretty much was some poor defense, some miscommunications, and again, some really bad officiating. Again, Vols fans, we will get to it later on in the show. It is not a one-sided affair here. I promise you, when it comes to the Zebras. It was bad. But my goodness, third game in a row where Kentucky gets pushed into a corner and they fight their way out of it. They find a way. They continue to play with intensity and urgency and energy. All the things you need to just be a good basketball team. They are actually looking like they're trying. Even if Kentucky had lost this game, if they had lost the last two, if they lost to LSU and they lost this game, I still would have said at least they're fighting in the second half. In this game, I still felt like they were fighting in the first. They just got down because this Tennessee team is good. In the LSU game, I thought it was a lack of energy in the first half. But in this game, I felt like Kentucky wanted to try. They wanted to go out there and find a way to win, especially in that second period. And they did. They found a way to win 80-78. My gosh, everybody. Holy freaking cow. What an unbelievable win. Unbelievable win for Kentucky. Now 3 in a row where you have to find a way to claw out of a deficit. And I thought, I said it on yesterday, or the last recap episode, I should say. I thought genuinely, that all of the magic was left with Mark Pope in his first year. I thought the Cardiac Cats were a thing of 2024 and 2025. I thought the ability to come back against quality opponents like Gonzaga, Duke, you found a way against Florida, you found a way against Tennessee twice. I thought that was a thing of last season. And it's clear, despite being down their point guard, despite being down their lottery pick center, this team does not want to give up right now. And I would love to see them continue this intensity. Again, they're 12-6. They're 3-2 in SEC play. There's a lot of lumps they've taken that are going to affect their seeding. They're not the best team in the country, but they're fighting. They're fighting. And that's all that matters. If you can start to ramp things up and play better and play more consistently as you roll into March, you're going to be capable of making a run in the NCAA tournament. And that's what this is all about. Finding a way to win. And this team did it. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's crazy that I came into yesterday's episode being like, I think Kentucky could pull this off. I genuinely think Kentucky can pull this off. And I held that confidence throughout the course of the game. There wasn't a moment where I truly did waver. I thought Kentucky can still win this because I think they match up well. I think they can find a way. They can find a way. I believed the whole way through, and they actually found a way at the end of the game. Amazing. Remarkable stuff for Mark Pope's Cats. We'll continue to talk about it. We'll continue to get to y'all's thoughts. 185 of you in here. We'll get to all of you here in the live chat. If you've not liked the video yet, please go ahead and do so. We'll get to everybody's comments in just a moment. Before we do it, though, tell you guys about our friends over at FanDuel. The college football playoff is wrapping up, and FanDuel is giving all customers even more ways to get in on the action every single game day of the playoffs. Because right now, every college football playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost waiting for them in the app. You can ride with the favorite. Maybe you want to ride with the Hoosiers in the national title. Maybe you want to take a shot on the underdog Miami Hurricanes. Build a parlay about the players you think are going to shape the game. Then you can apply the profit boost after. You can go after even bigger winnings. And when you win, FanDuel pays out instantly, which is really perfect for playoff football, honestly. It's the best place to get into the action all playoff long. So visit FanDuel.com to get your college football playoff profit boosts every game day. All right, continuing along here on today's episode, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for making Locked On Kentucky your first listen of the day and making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You guys already live your team every day. You can take it up a level now and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Kentucky with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. You can go to lockedonkentucky.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. I actually don't know if that link is in the show notes yet, but after we end the live stream, I will make sure that that link is in the show notes for you guys to watch, especially for those who are watching after this live. Again, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Love it if you did so. Oh my gosh, 80-78 is your final score. Cats go on the road, get a win in Lexington South here. Now 6 out of the last 7 for Kentucky in Thompson Bowling Arena. Unbelievable. And we'll start here with a chat I've just seen from Luke Newman. Aberdeen was incredible. Shout out Denzel Aberdeen, man. I think I've said it already about Aberdeen, and I might have said it after the LSU game, but I want to reiterate here, just the way that he plays as a senior, super under control whenever he's able to get to his spots and he's able to score consistently. Once he sees a couple go in, Aberdeen is clearly capable of being a lead scorer for this team every other game, basically. 22 points, 7 of 11 shooting, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 5 of 6 from the charity stripe, which ended up being huge in this game. 2 assists, no turnovers, 2 steals in 29 minutes. He was second on the team, if I'm not mistaken, in plus minus. Actually, no, he was third because Mohamed Diabate was plus 16. Mohamed, despite having some struggles around the rim, I still thought he had a good game as well. But yeah, touch, control, confidence again from Aberdeen. Love the confidence he has in his shot. Incredible soft touch around the rim on these floaters that were really important, especially after that rebound on the missed free throw at the very end of the game. I thought that Aberdeen was incredible today, and he was a huge part of Kentucky finding a way to win. Let's see. Best version of Aberdeen we have seen. Methodically aggressive. I like the way Biker Believer says that. Aggression under control, however you want to say it. This is what he was supposed to be. Absolutely. This is the player we got out of the portal. And obviously he's not going to get 22 points on high efficiency night in and night out. Like, you can't expect that like consistently, like every single game. But you're getting good production out of him, especially these last 2 games when you need to find a way to come back. And he's leading the charge for you. Ortega didn't have his best game today. I thought he got hacked quite a bit. They didn't call a whole lot. They called it at the end of the game on Nate Amin, I'll tell you what. But 12 points, 3 of 11 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3. The 3 that he hit was huge. I remember saying to myself, watching it, whenever he took that 3 that he made in the second half, I'm like, he's due. Like, this is going to be the one that goes in. And he knocked it down. Just 5 of 9 from the charity stripe. Those free throws would have been huge. I think it happens, I guess. For a shooting guard, small forward. It's an off night. He had 3 turnovers as well, but still just -5 overall and plus minus. I thought he was still playing hard in this game, and that's what you want to see out of your leaders. You want to see them playing with energy and trying to rally the troops. Let's see. Biggest thing his team has to work on are the first half turnovers. With about 3 minutes to go, he had 3 assists to 9 turnovers. Coming into this game, one of the big things that we noted is that the way you're going to take Tennessee out of this game is by creating more preventing, how do I say this? Limiting their ability to create extra possessions for themselves. Offensive rebounds, creating turnovers, limiting your own, and you yourself grabbing O boards as well. The more possessions that you can create for yourself, regardless of efficiency, the higher chance you have to win. More attempts to score kind of offsets if you have a bad shooting night. Or even if you have an average shooting night, it's going to boost your numbers. And at the end of the game, the only thing that matters is who scored the most points, right? In the first half of this game, Kentucky, like you mentioned, well, Stats Broadcast has it at 8 turnovers. I would believe you if you said 9. In the first half for Kentucky, 8 turnovers, right? Second half, 1 turnover, 7 assists. 3 of those assists, by the way, coming from Jasper Johnson, who did not score in the second half, but Jasper finished with 12 points, 5 of 6 shooting, 4 assists, 1 turnover. He might be a decent point guard, guys. I don't know. Alabama finds a way to win on the road, by the way, 83-81. Clutch win on the road against the Sooners. My gosh, Bama's not playing good right now, y'all. They are not playing good. Some Randy Potter says, I like the way Jasper played. Jasper was firing from the jump, man. He was firing from the jump, and I love it. Again, like I said earlier, confidence in your shot. Pride yourself in the shots that you take because you expect to make them. If Kentucky can find a way to not spot the other team 15 points, they have a chance at making a run. It is now 3 games in a row where Kentucky has just fallen flat on their face to come out. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's scouting report. I don't know if it's just lack of energy. I don't know if the other teams, it's just the mentality of let's get Kentucky while they're down and they're going for the kill early. They know what this brand is. They know what this program is. They want to find a way to desperately win. Even in the years that Kentucky in the future, if they go sub 500, they're going to be looking up like on the road at South Carolina or something at the end of the season. And the Gamecocks are going to go, but it's still Kentucky. We got to beat them by 50, right? It's the same thing with like North Carolina and Bill Belichick. It's like, it's Bill Belichick. Who wouldn't in the ACC want to find, like what random coach at Boston College wouldn't want to find a way to get a win over the Tar Heels and the greatest football coach of all time? So maybe it's partially the brand. Maybe it's partially scouting report. I don't know what exactly to pin it on. But if Kentucky can prevent themselves from getting down in a huge hole and having to fight and come back, they could honestly be blowing some of these teams out. They could have beaten Tennessee today by double digits. They could have beaten them by 8-12, genuinely, with the way that they performed, especially in the second half. They could have just pulled away. They could have just pulled away and won in Knoxville. Against Texas and Ole Miss next week, you have to start hot. You have to start hot against these teams. Texas, I think, honestly, actually a pretty solid three-point shooting team, if I'm not mistaken. Big wins over Alabama and Vanderbilt. They've got a game against Texas A&M, I believe, today. I don't know if the game's already started or not, but that's a huge one for them. Kentucky's got to find a way to wake up in these, like at tip, and go out there. And like I said in the preview episode, man, just go out there and throw a haymaker. Punch somebody in the face, not physically. Almost got to see that at the end of this game. Just go out there and throw your best punch early so you put your opponent on the back foot, and then you get to control game state, tempo, flow more consistently. I guess obviously basketball is a game of runs, but if you can establish yourself and force the opponent to maybe do some things out of desperation that they normally wouldn't typically do, you're going to be in a really good spot if you're Kentucky, because I think their defense is good enough. I think their offense is good enough. They're well-rounded enough as a team to win in the SEC night in and night out. It's just slipping up. It's just slipping up in these first halves. Peanut Butter Posse says, I love Denzel. King Simba says, we are 30 offense and 32 defense on Kim Palm. As I was just saying that, by the way, I just realized, I refreshed the page, I realized that 30th nationally on offense, 32nd on defense. I think they were 25th on defense coming into this game, so they dropped 7 spots. Kentucky statistically in the SEC right now, they're not great in terms of just raw shooting numbers on defense, but they're doing something that they didn't do at all last year, and they're turning opponents over. They turned LSU over. They turned Tennessee over, especially when it mattered. 12 turnovers today. They're limiting offensive rebounds. They're limiting teams from getting to the foul line. They're blocking shots. They're creating steals. They're forcing teams to cough the ball up in other ways. They're doing everything but preventing opponents from shooting well from deep and at the rim, which I think can be fixed. I think it can be fixed. You've also faced Alabama, who has the 3rd best offense in the country. Tennessee, who has a top 15, top 10 two-point offense in the country. You've also got LSU, who was a bad matchup for UK and has to score exclusively at the rim. And then Tennessee obviously is able to grab second chance points here. So maybe you get it's a little bit easier, especially against a team like Ole Miss next Saturday. I don't know. All I know is that Kentucky has the tools. They have the tools to win. Hey, Lance, do you think we can beat Vanderbilt? Vanderbilt might be a bad matchup because of the style of ball that they play. Similar to Louisville, Alabama, where they make you chase from 3. They're just constantly moving. They play really good defense, at least right now. Even in the SEC, they're doing a really good job of limiting opponents from 3. So I don't know. I think I would have to see more of how they fare against Florida, or actually they're playing Florida right now. I don't know what the score of that game is. Arkansas on the road, and then Mississippi State. I want to see those 3 games before I could get like a really comfortable feeling, and how Kentucky's playing heading into that game as well. Did Aberdeen have any assists? I believe he had 2. No? Well, yes, he did. 2 assists, no turnovers. 9 turnovers on the day for Kentucky, 14 assists after that brutal first half. Ito says, we got the win. That's all that matters right now. Find a way to win against quad one opponents, man. Find a way. Just find a way. Normally, I wouldn't say a win is a win, right? Normally, I wouldn't tell you a win is a win is a win. However, in Kentucky's current state, they need resume building dubs. They need victories. They need to put things in the W column, right? Kentucky shooting very good from three recently after being terrible at the start of the season. Kentucky now on the season shooting 34.9%, and they are shooting 38.7% in SEC play, which is second in conference play. That's good. That's good enough to win you games, and if you continue to shoot hot, you know what? I'm not really going to complain about it. Kentucky against Mississippi State, 40.9%. Against LSU, they shot 43.5%, and then today they went 11 of 24, 45.8%. Cats are shooting hot right now. You tighten up that rotation, and you spread them out with maybe a smaller lineup with Andrea Yelovich and Ken Williams in, and things start to change. It's actually interesting. You didn't see a ton of Yelovich or Cam today, just 12 minutes and 15 minutes between the two of them. I think because they were just struggling a lot of defense. So Chandler got run, Jasper got run, Garrison got run. Chandler finished this game 12 points in 24 minutes and 4 of 6 from deep. Once you saw that shooter's roll in that one, I'm like, okay, he's spraying in this game. He's hitting. He was getting open looks. Kentucky, miracle working right now. They're getting open looks from deep. Teams are having to play them a little bit differently because all of a sudden, whoa, 3 games in a row, Kentucky's actually shooting the ball well. Unbelievable. I said it, y'all. I've said it. Now, we're riding the wave. I'll reiterate exactly what I said again after LSU. We are riding the wave. With this team comes volatility, with the way that they are currently structured and the way that they want to play. You are going to have games where Kentucky inexplicably finds a way to win, like this one. They shoot the cover off the ball, which is what I've continued to say, and you look up and they win a game that they shouldn't on the road. Here it is. Here's one of those games. You're probably going to have games where you don't shoot well at all. You have things go against you and you lose. To be honest with you, I'm praying that most of those games, if not all of them, are behind Kentucky already. Missouri, North Carolina, those two specifically. It's also crazy. We might be looking at this team just a little bit differently. I would certainly feel better if they had found a way to close out the comeback against Louisville, because it turns out Louisville's not some world-beating team, right? If they had found a way to close out that one, now you're 13-5 with 1, 2, 3 quad one victories. 4, possibly. So that would have been nice, but let's see. Jasper stepped up big also. I thought he was good. I thought he was big. Turning him, having Aberdeen be such a legitimate scoring threat, I think opens things up for Jasper. And having them both be combo guards with a versatile skill set, actually, I think really does help with this offense, especially whenever the team's shooting well. When they're not shooting so well, I don't know. I should have worn the ref shirt. I couldn't find it. That was the problem. I was going to wear it. I couldn't find it. I was going to wear it. Let's talk about it. Real quick, actually. Hold on. Let's talk about it. Some of you may disagree with what I'm about to say, and that's okay. I thought the officiating was terrible in this game. I thought it was bad. I said it on Twitter. There was at least 100 people that seemed to agree. When I say the officiating was terrible, I didn't just mean in favor of Tennessee. I thought that there were several bad calls that went Kentucky's way. And it's really nice, I'll say this, it's really nice to see it balanced out. Where last season, in some mind-boggling, frustrating losses on the road, Kentucky just got hosed. That Georgia game keeps coming back to mind, where they just got screwed. Absolutely screwed. In this one, I thought they evened it out with bad calls on both ends of the floor. So yes, I thought the officiating was disgusting. It was probably the worst officiated game I've seen all season. And it comes, unfortunately, I won't put all of the blame on, I believe Oglesby was the lead official in this game. I won't put the lead blame or the blame on this officiating crew. I will say, to be honest with you, I think the way that Tennessee likes to play sort of forces the officials into a difficult spot where they have to call the game a certain way or they have to call it another. And more often than not, after calling the game a certain way, the crowd will get to you, the players, the coaches will get to you, and you either tighten up or you loosen up. And that can lead to inconsistencies. When you have a defense like Tennessee's that's so uber physical, where if we were just going by the book, there would have been a foul on basically every other possession. On both ends, by the way. Illegal screens, hand checking, shots at the rim that should have been called fouls, etc. But they play such a physical style, so engaged, that it's difficult to call everything. So I give them a little bit of leeway, saying it's partially the team's fault for forcing the officiating crew into such a difficult spot to call the game a certain way. However, I also do want to criticize them because I thought the way that they paced themselves in this one was like, it was terrible. It was really cruddy because it was like several of you guys have mentioned, it was super inconsistent. As Ito mentions in the chat, something else as well, they missed so many walks on both teams. Both teams. I'm surprised they called that double dribble on Cam. I'm like, they are letting everything go in this game. Walks, illegal screens, shot at the rim. They call that foul on Owe. I'm like, all right, I'll take it. Like, even Jay Billis was like, well, if there's any contact at all, they're probably going to call a foul. So, well, I hate Kentucky so much. I think that might be a foul, even though I've disagreed with everything in this game so far that has to possibly benefit the Wildcats. But, if you put somebody on the floor and they touch a guy, that might be a foul. That's how Jay Billis was this entire game. I hope you guys like my Jay Billis impression, by the way. That foul on Diabate at the end was terrible. It was bad. Proof is 2 challenges by Pope, 2 reversals. I thought one of those calls was wrong. I can't remember which one. I think it might have been the cylinder one. I think, honestly, Jay Billis might have been right about that. Deja blue, as he said. That was actually, not gonna lie, for all the stuff I give Billis, I thought that was actually pretty funny when he said that. I hope a producer didn't give that to him. I hope he just came up with that on his own. Most lopsided called game I've seen in a while. I just thought it was bad all the way. I thought it was bad all the way around, man. At least we got the win. Refs weren't great, but I don't think it was as one-sided as a lot of other UK fans. Captain Crash coming in here just with the most sober-minded of takes, man. It's always just dubs, just straight dubs from this man. Nate Mint was hooking and flopping his upper body. Nate Mint, man, he's probably going to be good at the next level, but he drawing some fouls. How about Jalen Carey going 3 for 12 in this game? What did I say? I had it in my notes. I might have deleted it. I don't know if I talked about it, but one of the first things I wrote down on my notes yesterday when I was doing research, I'm like, just let Jalen Carey shoot. Like, just let him shoot, even if it's at the rim, if it's not. He's been in these games like shooting terribly inside the arc, terribly. He goes 3 for 12 in this one. Carey, really, really solid enforcer with 6 O boards, right? But that's kind of all he could do. To be honest with you, I thought Dawe Brown II was a better player to have there down at the 5. Just, they have some physical dudes, man. This is a physical team. I don't want to play him again. We're going to play him again in Rupp. I don't want to play him again. It's going to be a tough out. Jacoby Gillespie, I also said, it's really funny, man. We read this Tennessee, and I don't want to rile teams fans up because Kentucky could lose by 50 to the Vols in Rupp later. I don't know. They're such an easy scout to me. Like, they're such an easy scout. Like, you know what you're getting going into it. Like, every single time I've covered Tennessee on this show, I'm like, I know where they struggle. I know what they're good at. And I know how this game, if Kentucky plays hard, should flow. Every other game, it feels like it might be a crapshoot. But with this team, it's like, no duh. Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Mint are going to be the 2 guys that score the most points for you. 24 and 17 from those 2. No duh, they're really good on the O boards. You have to prevent Carey. And he's going off. It's like, Kentucky's going to get shots from 3. They go 11 of 24. You have to prevent turnovers. They have 1 turnover in the second half. They find a way to come back and win. Like, it's really simple, the way that you beat Tennessee. Obviously, there's a lot more nuance that goes into it, but if I'm able to see it, I don't know, man. This was not as good of a Tennessee team as they've had in the last few years, which, I mean, at this point with college athletics and how you have to manage your rosters, like, I mean, things are going to go awry at least one season, like every few years. So, like, sorry to Rick Barnes and company, but like, not to say like from an arrogant perspective, this stuff is easy, man, against the Vols. But like, it's not been as difficult as other SEC programs like Bama, Florida, Auburn, just consistently more hard scouts, more difficult teams to combat with the way that they play. They're not different. They're the same team. They're the same. It's the same offensive sets. It's the same style of play. You're not getting anything different. No field goals for Tennessee, by the way, for the last 5.5 minutes of this game. Not a basket for 5.5 minutes. Good defense by Kentucky. Can't believe they dropped 7 spots. Florida's being very physical with Vandy, I bet. I wonder how they're calling it. Jalen Carey may be who you want shooting, but not the person you want shoving you in the chest. No, I agree. Absolutely not. This team is taking years off my life. That's what I said last year. Last year, I was like, I hope we don't have to deal with this again because this team is genuinely stressing me out, like physically stressing me out. And once again, for 3 games in a row, I feel like there's going to come a point where I look up and I'm in my 60s. And who knows, maybe I'll cover Kentucky for another decade, maybe I don't know how long. But I'm going to look up and I'm going to realize, I really think the Cats collectively probably took a year or so off my life watching those games. At least they found a way to win. They're finding a way to win right now. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. Let's see. Any other stuff from the live chat we want to get to here? You think we'll have JQ back for the rematch? I'm going to say, what is it, February 7th? That's honestly the sweet spot to expect him back if I were guessing. But they may just hold him out. I don't know. They may just hold him out. He might be healthy. They might be healthy. I don't know. I don't know. I can't predict that with confidence because I'm not in the locker room. I'll say sure, just because to keep a positive attitude. Chandler shoots so much better from the right side of the floor. I think I've noticed that too. Yeah. 4 of 6 from deep for him. The missed layups at the rim make me want to pull my hair out. That's a really interesting point. This might be one of the final comments of the show here. Kentucky, yeah, they had some things go their way. Sure. They also didn't play that well. they didn't play like as well as they could, right? What were they at one point? 9 of 20 on layups? Let me pull this up real quick. 10 of 22 on layups in this game. They could have won this game by 12. They could have won this game by a dozen. They find a way to win it by 2. I'll take it. I love it. Yes, I love it. 49 points in the second half. Give me that. Please. But my gosh. You also shot, what was it? 13 of 21 from the charity stripe. You could have won this game by a lot more. Owe struggled. He went 3 of 11. You could have won this game by a lot more. So while I'm happy with a win, have we seen Kentucky's ceiling yet? Have we seen the ceiling yet? They're down their point guard for the rest of the year. They don't have him anymore. And then all of a sudden, they're just spraying from 3. The back is against the wall, and they're just knocking stuff down, man. Have we seen the best of this team? Have we seen what Mark Pope's squad is capable of? Have we seen the $22 million roster that they invested in yet? Have we seen them at peak performance? Maybe we have. Maybe we have. And this is going to be their little stretch, and that's it. But if we haven't, I'm really excited to see what that team looks like. Because they can play better than this. Miami, Ohio is 19-0 right now. Red Hawks are cruising right now. If this team puts together a 40-minute game, they're going to win 120-20. It's the expectation we had this offseason. I'll say that. The expectation was for the defense to be good enough, for the team to create extra possessions for themselves, despite not being as efficient or explosive on offense, and for that to offset whatever missed shots they don't hit, whatever shots they don't hit, and for them to every other night blow an opponent out. They can't, I think, punch for that ceiling because of personnel limitations and just things not being as good as we expect them to. But man, I think that there is potential. While this season is almost certainly, like I said a few weeks ago, almost certainly dead in terms of expectations that we had preseason. This team's probably not a national championship squad unless they just get insanely hot in March and get the right draw, which that's usually how it goes for teams like this. But I think that there's something here. A lot of people apparently negative in the chat. I'll just say this, and we'll close out on this, because I think somebody else said it, and I'll agree. Just be happy with a win. Be happy with a win. It's 3 in a row. You got a chance to make it 5 in a row next week because you have 2 home games against Texas and Ole Miss. No, those are going to be tough games. Don't get me wrong. Those are going to be tough wins, tough contests. But you could be looking up 14-6, 5-2 in SEC play. Maybe you take some lumps against Arkansas, but then you come right back home against Oklahoma and Tennessee. And then after that, you're alternating here, kind of going on the road, coming back home, going on the road, coming back home. You've got games you can win, man. You can get the 20-plus wins. You can do something in the SEC tournament. You can get hot. You can make that push. It's still on the table. Now, maybe we lose to Texas on Wednesday, and I come back and say, well, this team's we're just riding the wave. We're just riding the wave with this team. And that might be the case. Texas might be a bad matchup. Who knows? But as of right now, just be happy. 3 in a row, man. You're getting dubs. 12-6 now after being 9-6 at one point. 0-2. Let's just be cheerful. That's going to do it for today's episode. You can follow the show on Twitter at LockedOnUK. Follow me on Twitter at LanceDawe_, and follow the show over on Instagram. That is at Kentucky Podcast. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave those in the YouTube comments below. Hit me on the socials. I will see you all on Monday for another episode. Another episode of Locked On Kentucky. Oh, have a great rest of your evening, everybody. And God bless. My gosh. Woo.